Hi everybody, my name is Emily Crane and I'm an audit supervisor at Briggs & Veselka. Today they've asked us to get on here and kind of tell you about me, my job, and what led me to my job. I'm so sorry that we can't be there in person, but because of safety and COVID, we decided to do this virtually, and I hope that it's just as informative as it would be. At the end of this, I will have your teacher give you my email address. So if you have any follow-up questions or anything like that, I'm definitely here to be available and a resource if you need anything. So I guess starting from the beginning, I was born and raised in Houston, Texas, and I graduated high school in 2010 and went to college at the University of Texas at San Antonio. I was in the CAP program, which allowed me to transfer over to UT Texas as long as I maintained a certain GPA, which was always the plan. But after my first year, I kind of realized I liked the people that I met in San Antonio, and I really didn't like what I went to college for, which was education. And so after talking with my parents and the school counselors, we decided that I would just stay at UT San Antonio and transfer over to business and kind of just see if I liked it any better. So I did my first year as a business student and I really enjoyed it. And I didn't love accounting, but I was the best at accounting, not like out of everybody, but for me. So I kind of just stuck with accounting, which I'm so happy. At the time, if I ever told my younger self, yeah, you're gonna grow up to be an accountant, I'd be like, okay, no. But here I am, and it's not what I thought was gonna happen with me. I met someone who's now one of my best and dearest friends in accounting, and if I can recommend anything in the entire world, whatever you choose to do for your career path, meet a buddy who's doing the same thing, and it will help you immensely. The reason I got the job at Briggs & Veselka, or even knew what Briggs & Veselka was Amy and I, who was my accounting friend, joined this program, and the name of it slips me, but essentially it prepared you for interviews and just getting ready for the outside world. So we did mock interviews, we practiced our elevator speech, they had networking events, and one of the things that they had was you could submit your resume, and then there were like 100 different companies that came and set up in the gym, and you just walked around and you could meet them, so they could kind of put a face to the actual piece of paper. You're not just sending in a resume. So this day comes around and I do not like stuff like this. I don't like interviews. I don't like meeting people and dressed up in business suits. But part of the programming, that's what it's teaching you to get ready for. So if your college or whatever you decide to do has that, I do highly recommend that as well. But so that day, me and my friend Amy, we show up, we're pulling in the parking lot, and I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna go. And she's like, well, yeah, we're here. And I'm like, no, it's fine. I'm just gonna drop you off, and then I'll pick you up in an hour. It's cool. And she's like, no, we're here, you're going. And I'm like, So after 5 minutes, she convinces me. She's like, we'll go inside for 30 minutes, and then if you truly hate it, we'll leave. So we go inside. I'm sweating, it's Texas summer, and I'm wearing a suit, and but we went inside, and I faced my fears, and after the first 5 minutes I was fine. I had cooled down, my nerves had cooled down, and I eventually got to the Briggs & Veselka table, met the two people there at the time, said our hellos, walked away. So probably 2 weeks later, they gave me a call, and they're like, hey, we met you at the career fair, and we were just wondering if you were coming in town for Thanksgiving, would you want to do an interview with us? And I was like, sure. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? They're gonna say no. So I went and I did the interview, and it was a really good fit. And I don't mean that in terms of money or working, but I mean just the people that I met. I was like, this seems like I would get along with these people. So I did my first internship there, summer maybe 2014, Yeah, summer 2014, and during that time I worked on benefit plans. So the summer at a CPA firm isn't really busy. It's like when people are taking their vacations. We're working on the not-for-profits, the benefit plans, just things that don't have the earlier deadlines. So most of our work is done from January to April, and then during the summer it's a little bit slower. So after my internship, I loved it. I loved the people, but I really didn't get a feel for busy season, right? And that's what people say is really tough about public accounting, is the hours during busy season, the stress. And so I talked to the partners there, and we got with HR and decided I would do a second internship during my master's year. So I completed the second internship during busy season and still was like, yeah, I can do this. It wasn't too bad. And I compare it to my friend Amy, who went a different route. So Briggs & Veselka isn't one of the big four. We're one of the largest privately held in Texas, but we're not nationally. So my friend went to a national firm where her hours, she was working 70 hours. She was stressed. She was crying. And my experience wasn't like that. Our hours are pretty much about 55 during busy season, which is a lot, but everyone's working it. It's a team effort. The partners are doing it. Everyone's putting in the extra effort. And when you think of it, it goes because we're slower in the other months. So it does even out, but it does get really stressful. But they made it as unstressful as possible. The help was there. Our partners have an open door policy. Everyone is there to help you. And so it wasn't bad. And so I was like, yeah, I think I can do this. And so after my internship, they offered me full time. So I finished college that December, graduated with my master's, and then started full time January 2016. And I've been there ever since. I love it. I got my CPA, and they've really helped with that. They are really supportive of you getting it. They give you additional time off. They give you study materials. And so they really helped me with that aspect of my career, which, going back to my friend at a different firm, they told her, if you don't get it in 2 years, you're fired. Although my firm, they want you to get it as soon as possible. If you're struggling, people are there to help you, and people want you to succeed, which is something that I really love about the firm. And that goes back to when I said it was a good fit for me. There's more to a job than the money, because you can make all the money in the world, but if you go into work every day hating what you do or hating the people that you work with, mentally that will take a toll on you, and it's really not going to be worth it at the end of the day. There are days that I do not want to go to work. I wake up, I roll out of bed, and I'm like, no, not for me today. But I go, and I have people there that they're the people I like seeing. So on those bad days that I don't want to work, I have two of my now very best friends sit in 2 cubicles beside me, and we talk about everything. And I've been to their wedding, and I've been there to the baby showers. And so I've made those connections that help me love my job so much more. And like I said, it's not just about the job. It's not just about the money. It's about, do you get along with the people that you work with? My firm through COVID has been extremely supportive. They're there in any way that you want them to be. And even before that, we used to do, unfortunately, and after COVID, we will do them again, so many fun things. They would give us a half day in the whole firm. We'd rent a bus and we'd go to the Astros game, or we do escape rooms. We just like team bonding, because it really is about the people that you work with. That's how you build those relationships, and it's just a great place. And I highly recommend looking for a place that you fit into, not just the job, not just the title, but make sure that you, on a personal level, on just that it's a good fit. And it won't always be, and sometimes it takes being there for a little bit, but just think about it more of the job is what you're going to go to and do every single day of your life, and so you want it to be something happy, something that you enjoy doing. I work on benefit plans from May to November, and I love it. I truly I have 17 different clients, and it is my favorite time of the year. Not that I don't love January to April. We work on financial statement audits then, which is really nice though. At a firm our size, there's 320 of us, and that's the whole firm. I think the audit department has about 90 of us. I get to see an audit from start to finish. So I run the planning meeting to issuing the financial statements, which at bigger firms you don't really get that. You might work on cash, you might work on accounts payable for 2 clients for the whole year. I get to work on the whole client. I have 5 of them during busy season from start to finish. So what I do every day on the basic ground level is the same. I do accounting, I follow the guidelines, but every job, every day is something different, which I love. And that's also not for everybody. Some people might want to go in and do the same thing and have that structure. My job is not like that, and I love that. And so you just really need to find a job and a company that works for you. And for me, that was accounting. In the teaching aspect, because we have so much free time, I don't want to say free time, but because it's less busy during the summer. Next year, I'm actually going to teach accounting 1 at a community college, because that's like what got me into it. That's what made me decide. And I had a really good teacher, and I think that helps a lot. Just having those resources. So use your teachers, use your family, use the resources that you have to help you make those hard decisions. But at the end of the day, it's your decision that you should make, because it is your life. Whatever you want to do, just make sure it's right for you and sits right in your heart. I think that's about all the time that I have. If y'all have any questions, please feel free to email me. I think your teacher will have my email address. And I hope y'all just have the happiest holiday season and a great rest of your school year. Thanks so much for your time today.